So yeah, I've been meaning to talk about this for a while, and it's an interesting topic. I have a pretty storied history with this topic. Okay, why stands are bad? Let's start. Okay, so first I want to give a quick rundown of my experiences with stands. Let me tell you right now, it's extensive. Okay, Swifties. I said Kendrick Lamar's "To Be a Butterfly" should have won over Taylor Swift's 1989 at the Grammys. They responded by flooding my comments with some racist remarks, very racially insensitive remarks, and claiming that I clearly just hate women. And that's the reason that I said that. Kanye stands. I said something positive about Taylor Swift. They flooded my comments with "Kanye made her famous." Barbs. I said Nicki Minaj has more potential than the work she has put out thus far and doesn't have a classic album yet. They responded by threatening to leak my address on the internet. Travis Scott stands. I said the rage behind Cardi B winning the Grammy over Astroworld in 2018 might be based in misogyny. They responded by confirming that it was indeed based in misogyny. Katy Cats. I low-key implied they don't exist. They called me the F slur in my tweet replies. Still not entirely convinced they exist, though. Now let's talk about stans versus fans, okay? I'm not saying being a fan of something isn't... I'm not saying being a fan of something is a problem, okay? A stan is being a fan of something, but taken to an extreme. Okay, there is nothing wrong with being a fan of someone's work or really liking some music that somebody has made or their acting ability. There's no issues with that. I'm specifically talking about the dangers that can come of being an extreme fan of something, a fandom taken to an extreme. The positives, let's talk about those first. A sense of belonging and a way to relate and meet others, a community, if you will. So, whatever you're getting super involved with, getting super into anything, getting super involved in anything, no matter what the community is, it can be a sport, or it can be something like a shared love for a musician. Getting to know people and relating to the same topic and a shared love of something is a good thing. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. And also a passion. Not everyone finds a passion, and finding your passion can be very beneficial to your life. I know it has been for mine. Mine being music, of course. And a passion at the right time can save lives. It can be an amazing thing. However, these things that you see on the screen right now, Trump, churches, fraternities and sororities, they provide the same benefits. So when criticizing these things, as I feel like in many situations, most situations for some of them, you criticizing them, it's understandable. You should criticize them in a lot of situations. But you got to recognize that if you're a stan, you are reaping the same benefits from that community of being a stan as these people are being a Trump supporter or being in a church or being in a fraternity. I'm not saying that they're equally bad or can be equally harmful, but they can be equally harmful to you as a person, potentially. And I'm going to explain why. So first, let's talk about musicians and influencers versus TV comics, movies, anime, and stuff like that, okay? The difference is stans of TV shows can get out of hand, of course, but they are usually based in fiction. Stans of musicians or influencers for that matter, or content creators like myself, those claiming to be my stan in chat right now, don't do it. You don't. I'm a real life person, and real life people who make real life decisions is very different than being obsessed with a fictional character. Unless, of course, you're a gorilla stan or something. Why is it bad to stan real people? Okay, just like fictional characters, musicians are flawed, but unlike fictional characters, their flawed decision making can affect the real world. When you defend your favorite artist's actions, you're also disregarding real people that were or could have been affected by their actions. You're giving power to people that could abuse it. There have been many cases of famous people telling lies, and their fan base believed them without a second thought. And fictional characters can't do that. These affect real life people, and when musicians or famous people in general lie about something and they use their audience that have their unadulterated love for them and an obsession with them, they're going to believe anything that they say. Okay? Identity and fandom wars. Stans are more likely to defend their favorite artist regardless of their own opinions. They see an attack on their artist as an attack on their own identity and their community that they're involved in. If you center your life around an artist, you're going to start to identify with that artist inherently. It's what happens. Therefore, an attack on them will feel like an attack on you, and you're going to defend them like you would defend yourself, which for obvious reasons isn't a healthy thing. So yeah, developing your own opinions. If you love an artist so much that it becomes your identity, it will affect your judgment of the work they put out. And that might not seem like a huge deal, but in the grand scheme of things, no one is going to trust your opinion on music if you love everything that an artist puts out. And you might find yourself listening to music that you hate just because you really, really like the person that made it. This might not be a big deal to everybody, and it's definitely a less big of a deal than other things, but it feeds into other stuff in life. Thinking for yourself is an important part of being a person, and I don't think anyone should be blindly following anything, even if it's art. And also, if you get into your favorite artist because you like their music, it stops becoming about their music anymore. If you're just loving everything that they put out. And if you as a fan base support everything that an artist puts out, they are going to continue to put out bad stuff because there's no consequences of them putting out subpar music. If you stand these artists, though, this might never apply to you. Gatekeeping. Every fandom has gatekeepers, and they always will. It comes back to identifying as a stan of any artist. It has become your identity. You feel threatened by others who also identify as being the thing that you identify as. Loving that artist is what makes them feel special, so other people liking that artist, too, is no good. They don't like it. It's just the way that things work. For some reason, when people attach their identity to something, they feel threatened when other people also start to like that thing, especially if you are a girl or something, and it's a generally masculine, or guys generally like something. Like Kanye stans, for example. Oh, no, you're not a real Kanye fan if you like his newer stuff. Or that's very prominent with Tyler, the Creator stans. Or it can be even skateboarders at a skate park. Girls can't do real tricks. You're a poser if you are walking around with a skateboard. People feel threatened when somebody tries to get involved in their community and they feel like they're not in it for the right reasons. That's just naturally going to happen, and people just need to get over themselves. Now, there's also gatekeeping within the fandom, which I have talked about before on my TikTok, but there is always competition to be the biggest fan of your artist. Once you get involved with a fandom or community, you can no longer be the Ariana Grande girl or the Kanye guy or anything like that. You can't even be or you're the metalhead of your friend group or people know around you. But once you get involved in that community, you can't be that person anymore because everyone in that community is that person. So you need to find a new way to distinguish yourself, and people often do that by claiming their favorite song or favorite album in that community of their artist and whatever community it is. They claim it's something that it isn't. So say if you're an Ariana Grande fan, and Thank You Next is your favorite album by Ariana Grande, and you think it's her best. Once you get involved in that community, you realize, oh, a lot of people think that. So, I'm going to change it to one of her more disliked albums or one of their least popular albums. And I'm going to say my favorite song is a super deep cut off of Sweetener or something like that. That's a problem for obvious reasons because you don't what's the point anymore? You're lying about stuff that you enjoy just to look cooler in front of people that you don't even really know. Or even if it's in real life, you're telling people that your favorite thing is something that it isn't. What's the point here? Wasn't it all supposed to be about the music or the art? Don't try to prove you're a real fan. Like, that's part of the thing that standom can do, being involved with other stands and being in that community. Then there's the mom mentality. Once one stand does something, everyone else seems to think it's okay. Yeah, I'm talking to you, Frank Ocean stands. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Drake got booed off the stage at Camp Flog Gnaw because they, for some reason, were expecting Frank to be the headliner and close out the concert, and they thought he was going to come on stage next. He wasn't. I imagine one or two people started booing, and then everyone else was like, "Yeah, let's get in there and also boo this artist off the stage." Conclusion. Okay, it's okay to love an artist in their work. Just don't treat them like gods, and think for yourself. Do not attach your identity or anything else. Don't give other people power that are real people, okay? Don't give them power over your life and your agency, because I have seen on the internet way too many times this type of thing being taken way too far. And there have been many fan bases that have been known to just accept anything that their artist does as, a good thing when it's not. So it's dangerous. You don't want to be one of these guys, because stands obviously are more liberal. They hate these guys, as they should. You don't want to be one of these guys, but at the end of the day, if Nicki Minaj decided to do something extremely radical, there is a massive amount of people that would support her no matter what. It's on the same spectrum, guys. That's the reality. I'm not saying that it's there yet, but it has the potential to get there. So let's not let it ever get there. Don't attach yourself to these people and give them that type of power. All right? So that's the moral of the story here, guys. Don't let shit get too far. Don't let shit get too far. I hope you liked that video. If you did, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. It helps me out a lot. Also, most of my content is filmed live on Twitch, so if you want to see me film my content live or just hang out, please follow me on Twitch. I have the link in the bio. And yeah, thanks, guys.